President Tinubu present as National Economic Council approves renewed Hope World-based development program and foster national unity and not division. President Tinubu nudges digital media influencers. Hello and thank you for joining us for this week's executive recap as we take you on a journey back in 1 week on the activities within the presidency. I am Musba and Wahab. The National Economic Council has approved Renewed Hope World-based development program to be funded by revenues accrued by governments. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the meeting attended by President Bola Tinubu also approved the strengthening of state emergency management agencies and the creation of local emergency operation centers across the country.
This is the 150th National Economic Council meeting and the third in the year 2025, attended by President Bola Tinubu. The President was here to again remind the Council members to work together for the good of Nigerian people, especially in building more avenues of revenue generation to implement the current economic reforms.
Mr. President has done extremely very well, and the reform policies of his administration are beginning to yield fruits, and the emphasis on impacting these dividends, direct impact on our people up to the grassroots, up to the common man on the street.
The Council also discussed on some challenges on environmental impact assessment and advocated for collaboration for actualization of all ongoing projects across the country.
The President acknowledged some challenges bordering on environmental impact assessments around the major projects, his legacy projects, particularly the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road and the Sokoto-Badagry Road, and advocated for the need for collaboration between the national government and subnational government for a committee to be set up so that governors and the national government will work together for earlier actualization of these projects.
There was a presentation of a memo on the Renewed Hope World-based development program and was approved by the Council.
Some might be trading communities, and by focusing on their uniqueness and identifying at least 1,000 individuals in each of those wards, and they will be identified locally, not nationally, and then supported by the combination of both local, state, and federal governments, as provided for by Chapter 2 of our Constitution, specifically Section 13, which requires collaboration by all those in government. We believe this will catalyze economic activity in each of those wards.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, has also made a presentation on the comprehensive flood preparedness efforts, and the Council approved the strengthening of state emergency management agencies and the creation of local emergency operation centers.
Of emergency equipment to some high-risk states, and above all, some continuous engagement and communication, and taking the national preparedness and response campaign to all 36 states and the federal capital. Of course, there are challenges, there are some weaknesses which are being worked on: drainage, delay in data from insecurity in some flood-prone areas, poor compliance.
The National Economic Council meeting, after all the approvals, also made case of funding for agencies concerned to support flood prevention efforts across the country.
And now for more angles to this, we had an interaction with a member of a council and Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Uba Sani. There is the need to know the perception of the governors on this, as President Tinubu presented the idea.
The program that was brought forward by Mr. President at the last NEC meeting, for me, is in line with our bigger agenda of New Hope initiative by Mr. President, because he's talking about ensuring that the development of democracy reach to the level of the grassroots, which for me is extremely very important. As you are aware, Mr. President have come with a number of interventions that could certainly address the problem of poverty, creating jobs, and most importantly, creating wealth for our people, particularly those at the grassroots level. In essence, it's about creating the economic prosperity of the people, particularly the vulnerable and underserved within our society. And those kind of people can only be found at the grassroots level. So it's governance that is talking about the people that matters.
As we have it, the structures of how the program works are sketchy yet, and so we sought to know if the state governments will be partnering with the federal government on this.
We were able to understand the direction of Mr. President, and I have no doubt in my mind all the governors will key into this very important program, because for me, it's certainly one of the most important programs since the insertion of this administration, because it will affect directly the people at the grassroots level, and I believe these are the people that matters. We know what's happening globally, and that's the reason why every country and leaders are now readjusting their policies, their focus, and believing that what is more important is the people at the lower level. And for me, this is key. And I have no doubt in my mind the governors will embrace it, and I will key into this very important program. And at the end of the day, I have no doubt in my mind it will be successful.
We equally asked him about the sustainability of this program, as we have seen similar ones in the past.
Why most of those programs in the past failed, and I will tell you today. And of course, that's why I sometimes keep agitating that some people are not benefiting. I will give you an example. Most of these programs, when you look at it, we also have to look at addressing one area. The area is that when you look at some part of the country, a lot of people are financially excluded. As a governor, when I came in last year, beginning of last year, I signed an executive order to address the problem of financial inclusion. And of course, and I realized that many people, about 3 million of our adult age that are within the rural areas, are completely financially excluded. So the executive order, as we are speaking, after signing the executive order, we started the financial literacy campaign, sensitization. Today we have brought back about 2.5 million of our vulnerable, underserved and underprivileged back to financial services sector in Kaduna State. Meaning we do not only open accounts for them, we supported them with some intervention, and they can save now, they can borrow, they can also be entrepreneurs. So that is the way to go. And now this category of people I mentioned will certainly benefit from this program. But my only fear is that, look, there is need for other state governors, subnationals in particular. The only way you can key into this program is to ensure that our people are financially included. Because at the end of the day, there's no way you can go to people and be giving them support. You have to find an avenue. Avenue means they must be financially included for them to benefit. If we don't do that, most of this support will go to the wrong people. That is the issue. And that is why sometimes when you do a lot of social intervention, you look at the poverty index, you realize that it's not reducing. Because the whole idea is to eradicate poverty, is to create jobs, is to make people to have economic prosperity. That can only happen when people are financially included.
And out to his state matters, some parts of Kaduna State were no-go areas before he came in as governor. So we asked him about his strategies in addressing the security challenge in those areas.
We have two different issues. Apart from banditry, we also have the issue of ethno-religious crisis, which for me was a very serious issue. But the approach was completely different. For ethno-religious crisis, what do? Is to run a government that is an inclusive government. We address everyone equally. We run a government with fairness, justice, and equity. Brought everyone together, irrespective of political, religious, or party affiliation. For me, it's very important. Then the second aspect is taking development to every part of Kaduna State. During the election, and after election, when you look at the statistics, you will agree with me that most of the results I got were from the northern part of Kaduna. But as a governor, I made it clear to everyone, I'm not a governor for one part of Kaduna State. And today you go to Kaduna, we have taken development to every part of the state. No discrimination, no religion, no politics. It's about governance. Many local governments that were in no-go area. I recall vividly when President Tinubu came to Kaduna on the 22nd of December 2022 during the campaign. We couldn't get to Benungwari without 20 armored vehicles provided to us by late General Labaja. And then he was a GOC on Mechanized Division. But today, you can go to Benungwari without a single police escort with the eyes closed at any time of the day. 10 markets were closed because of banditry. We reopened all of them. Our grains market was also open. We reclaimed about 500 hectares of land that were abandoned. Our farmers have gone back to farm. 162 schools that were closed because of banditry have been opened. 192 primary healthcare centers closed have all been opened. I had to go to Doha to partner with the Qatar charity. They saw our holistic programs, they key into it. We're building 500 houses to be given to the most vulnerable victims of banditry in Kaduna. We have given the first set of those houses 10 days ago.
And thank you to Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State for talking to us on Executive Recap. With a presidential directive, the Federal Ministry of Health continued to dialogue with professional bodies to avert the looming industrial action by workers in the sector. That was part of the outcomes from the meeting of the Federal Executive Council this week. The Council also approved for the Ministry of Labour and Employment the implementation of a National Industrial Policy 2025. President Bola Tinubu apparently came prepared for what turned out another long stretch of deliberation on national issues. The infrastructural renewal program of the Renewed Hope administration dominated the meeting. The recent achievements of the government in the health sector, particularly the upgrade and construction of world-class oncology centers and other facilities in state, was commended by the council, while it approved that of University of Ibadan Teaching Hospital for upgrade. However, the looming industrial action by health workers received attention.
We are currently also in active dialogue with the key professional associations, NMA, which had provided an ultimatum, but in negotiation with its leadership, which was very constructive in its approach, I think extended that ultimatum while many of the outstanding issues have been looked into, including the outstanding arrears, for which the Minister of Finance is going to ensure that those are being defrayed over time.
Similarly, the Council approved the implementation of a National Industrial Policy 2025 for the Ministry of Labour and Employment.
This policy is essential for regulating the conduct of the various trade unions within the industrial relations space in the country. This is due to frequent industrial actions over the years caused by the lack of a comprehensive national policy.
The Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund also favored the aviation sector with approval for massive infrastructural upgrade at the international airports in Ikeja, Port Harcourt, and Kano. The projects include the landing systems of the airports, while the Terminal 1 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, is to undergo a total rehabilitation.
Just for transparency, to let the public know that we are going to strip it down to only the carcass and then do the complete M&E again, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, everything, to have a brand new airport in Lagos.
The Ministry of Power got approval for the engineering procurement contract under the Energizing Education Program of the administration to provide uninterrupted power supply for federal universities in Lagos, Zaria, Ife, Enugu, Ibadan, Dose, and Wukari in Taraba states. The council also approved contract for the procurement for Agricultural Centers of Excellence project for Rural Electrification Agency.
This is meant to extend the transformation in the power sector to our rural community dwellers, especially those that do not have grid extension, and is actually in pursuit of our resolve to ensure that no Nigeria is left out in our transformation in the power sector.
The administration continues with approval for the funding of the 4 legacy road projects, with the second carriageway of the Sokoto-Badagry Highway getting a new approval.
We have awarded the second carriageway in Kebbi, 258 kilometers, 3 lanes for 961 billion. And then in Sokoto, additional 120 kilometers, for 456 billion.
The council also approved the reviews of others, including the Biu Numa Road, Maraba Kefi Road, and Ikorodu Shagam Road.
And offer prayers for the
council members observed a minute silence in memory of a former member, late Navy Captain Caleb Olubolade retired, who served as Minister of Special Duties, Minister of State, FCT, and then Minister of Police Affairs under President Goodluck Jonathan administration.
May the soul of the departed rest in peace.
President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerian digital media influencers to use their platforms as instruments of national progress, fostering unity and not division. The president was addressing Nigerian netizens at the Progressive Digital Media Summit in Abuja. The summit's theme is unveiling the central role of new media in national development. Members of the Progressive family, mostly from the digital media space, relishing the moment of an interface with their leader. He is their proud brand on the net. Phones up, capturing the moment, and these netizens busy tapping and typing away, hitting straight on the net highways. This is what they do, and since the 10 years of the successive APC administrations at the national level. But then, with current realities of fake news and the surge of AI-generated content, the Progressive Digital Media family are here for house cleaning.
Divisive content is rampant. Deepfakes and artificial intelligence-generated content are increasingly used against political opponents. Posts are driven by clicks, not by truth or accuracy. This information spreads 5 times faster than official corrections.
This event is just more than a conversation. It is a call to action, a call to policymakers, educators, entrepreneurs, technologists, and every citizen who believes in the power of self-government. Let us unveil not only the role of social media plays in national development, but also responsibility we all share in shaping it for the greater good.
President Tinubu has seen the different sides of the social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and so cannot underestimate the opportunities therein.
Reducing conventional barriers to participation in politics and enabling broader representation of those who would previously have gone unheard. Your generation has understood this moment. You are using digital tools to innovate, to educate, and to demand accountability. But as this influence grows, so too must our collective sense of purpose and responsibility.
And the responsibility of the youth, whom the President described as the most important national asset, is to nurture the country's unity, progress and development with their skills while leveraging the strategic investments he said his administration has made in digital infrastructure and broadband expansion.
I urge you to continue using digital platforms as instruments of national progress, but you should build business that employ others. Create content that uplift those around you. Use your influence to foster unity and not division.
While protecting the interest of the citizens in this space, the President says the government will as well not lose focus on ensuring cybersecurity of the nation. And celebration of the Super Falcons of Nigeria continues across the country for winning the Women's Africa Cup of Nations for a record 10th time in Morocco. But it all started from the top corridor power where President Bola Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi led the ground reception for the African champions. The African champions arrived into the waiting hands of First Lady Oluremi.
Congratulations. Yeah, we can't carry this one. Let me see.
It was a moment she longed for, following the incredible performance of the Nigerian ladies at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. And the proud mother of the nation presented the victorious ladies to the President.
Your triumph at the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations in Morocco was not just a win, but a testament of resilience, teamwork, and determination. You played with passion, confidence, and an unshakable belief in yourselves that it is not over until it is over. The zeal you displayed on the pitch was nothing short of inspirational. I say to you all, well done.
Like other Nigerians, the President narrated his anxious experience during the final encounter.
Honestly, I didn't want to watch the match. I didn't want high blood pressure. But our people came in and turned my TV on to that channel. When it was 2-0, I got very offended and restless. But I was there still watching. The indomitable spirit of resilience, determination, and courage.
President Tinubu commended the resilient spirit of the ladies, upturning a looming defeat in the first half, which later led to victory for the country.
Your victory represents more than the sport accomplishment. It is a triumph of courage, determination, discipline, and consistency. You made us very, very proud.
For doing the nation proud, the President conferred national honor of OON on each of the players and the technical crew of the team, among other rewards.
In addition, there is a cash award of the Naira equivalent of $100,000 each. To the 24 players.
This is indeed a momentous moment for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We have won this title now for the 10th time. This is the first time that a presidential reception will be hosted for the girls by the president in a state house, and with a heart full of gratitude and appreciation for what these girls have done in Morocco.
The youth of this country are courageous. This is a golden feeling for all Nigerian youth. And this is a message that whatever we know how to do best, we should just keep on doing it. We should put our commitment, we should put our courage.
And that was it on Executive Recap for this week. Thank you so much for being part of it. Join us again for another package of a program next week. I am Musbad and Wahab. God bless you and yours. God bless Nigeria.